everybody, welcome back to my workshop and welcome back to my garage. Today we're going to be doing video number 2 in my Pango Music Headless Guitar Kit build. This is probably one of the most critical steps in the build, and it involves getting the neck mounted into the body and establishing our center lines on the body, the neck, and that way we can get our bridge location drawn in, which is also the second most critical part of this build. As a reminder, this video is sponsored by Pango Music. They did send me the kit to do the review on, so I'm very happy about that and want to say thank you very much to Pango Music for that. If you are interested in buying a kit, please let me know. They did say that if anybody wanted to buy a kit through my videos, just to let them know the person's name and that they would look at giving a discount to that person when they ordered the kit. So that's something to keep in mind. Before we get rolling on actually doing the assembly of the guitar and doing the mock-up before we start to do the finishing process, what I'd like to do is just kind of go over some tools that you're going to need to complete this project. One thing that you're definitely going to need is a good drill. This one's an electric drill, of course, but you can use a hand drill as well. Of course, you're going to need some good drill bits. You're going to need a screwdriver. This kit is all Phillips head screwdrivers, so I've got a couple different Phillips head screwdrivers to make sure they fit the cross point on the screw. You're also going to need a straight edge, multiple different kinds. This works, 36-inch ruler. I got this from Lowe's, fairly cheap. This is one that I actually use mainly for my guitar building. This one I got off Amazon. Again, not too expensive, $25, $26 for this. And of course, the best thing to get for checking the straightness of your neck and things like that would be a slotted straight edge like this. And these slots allow it to fit over the frets. You will need a soldering iron when you go to do the electronics. And along with that soldering iron, you're going to need a wire clipper and a wire stripper to prep the wires before you solder them all together. So now that we roughly know what tools we're going to need, it's time to actually start putting some of this stuff to use and how I use it. Like we've already discussed, this guitar is a 25.5-inch scale. The easiest way to tell the scale on a guitar neck, and it's not foolproof, but it's pretty darn close. This one has a 0 fret, so you're going to measure from the center of that fret to the center of the 12th fret. The 12th fret is the midpoint between the nut and the saddles on the bridge. So you were looking at 12 3/4 of an inch from the center of this 0 fret to the center of the 12th fret. So when we get ready to make our bridge placement, we're going to go 12 3/4 of an inch from the center of the 12th fret to the saddles on the bridge. So now that we've verified everything on the neck, we know the frets are good, we've taken a look at it, we know we've got it set level at the moment, and what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and put it into the body, and we're going to look at drilling our holes for our neck mount. And like we established on day 1 when we did the unboxing on this has a very good fit for the neck. And it's got a nice contour here. Just holding my hand there, I have upper fret access with no problem at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to clamp this neck in place because we've already got the holes drilled in our body. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure the neck is straight once we get it clamped in, and I'm pretty sure it will be because there is no movement from side to side. I mean, that's moving the body, but as I just try and move the neck, there is no movement on here. So I want to verify first, and I'll show you what we're going to do, but we're going to use a straight edge after we clamp this neck in, and we're going to verify down the sides here. We're going to establish a center line to mounting our bridge in relationship to the neck. So let's get rolling on that. The first thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that the neck is fully seated in the neck pocket, okay? And then I'm going to take just a clamp. I'm not going to use a ton of pressure, but I am going to hold it in place. As you can see, I've got my neck clamped in now. Now what I'm going to do, and I'm going to pan the camera down and show you how I'm going to find the center line. What I'm going to do, because I don't want to mark up the top a whole bunch, I'm going to go ahead and put this tape down the side. The reason why I don't want pencil lines on it if I can avoid it in certain places is this is a veneer, so it's not exceptionally thick. So I want to be careful when I'm sanding to have room to sand the stuff out that I need to sand out. So what I'm doing now is I'm just laying the straight edge down the flat of the neck, because remember, your neck's tapered. It's thinner at the nut than it is at the base. And then I'm just drawing a line. I'm going to measure approximately the 25.5 inches, and I'm going to put a tentative mark here at my bridge location. That's my 25.5-inch line. So I'm going to take my center finding ruler right here, and what I do is I can just, you can see it's graduated across the top, center in the middle, and then equal increments going out. What I want to do now is just find the center according to that line. There's my center. Now I don't mind drawing where I'm drawing now on the body, because the bridge is going to be sitting over that top of that. So I've got my center, or I've got my 25.5-inch there. I'm just going to re-verify. I'll land my ruler with 25.5 right across the top of the 0 fret, and right to that line I'm at 0. So I know this line is good for my scale line. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to establish some center line or some pickup lines at the edges coming off my neck. This is going to allow me to get a better these marks I'm not really concerned about that I'm putting right here, because that is where my pickup surrounds are going to go. So I don't need to worry about those quite so much. My pickup surrounds will be right over top of those. So now what I can do is I can take my center finding ruler and go to each of those hash marks that I made. And now that I've established the center lines based off of that, come down through. With my neck in, I established marks at my pickup cavities in relationship to the edge of the neck. Then what I did is I found the center up top here, and that's marked right there, so that's the center. And then also where I had already established based off the lines that I drew when I laid the long straight edge down, that's my center, and that's my 25.5-inch scale line. So that X right there, that's the center of the guitar, where I'm going to center the bridge on from side to side, and also where I'm going to center the bridge on front to back to have my scale length correct. So I've got my neck clamped, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a drill bit that's the size of the hole in the body, and then I'm just going to drop this drill bit down through the hole, and it's a brad tip bit, so that way by using the right size hole, I know that I'm centering it. And just a tap to mark the center. Now when I pull this neck off, I should have 4 nice little indents on the back. And I do. So now what it's time to do is we're going to go ahead and get these holes drilled and get the neck mounted to where I can make sure and double check everything on the bridge. So what I've done in preparation for drilling the holes in my neck is I've went ahead and put one of the screws into the body with the ferrule. I took a micrometer and I checked the depth to make sure I've got the depth right of how far that screw needs to go into the neck. Transferred this distance right here to a drill bit with tape on it. Now one thing that you'll notice when I'm drilling on the neck, you can see that the screws, if I drill all the way, it's coming right almost to the bottom of the fretboard. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Absolutely no issues at all with that. You just want to make sure that your reference line from this tape doesn't slip as we're drilling our holes. So now that we've got it what we want it to be, want to make sure we're on a good flat surface. Want to make sure you drill straight up and down. Now before I do anything else, I just want to check and make sure that my depths are correct. That one's good. This one was a little shallow, wasn't it? And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to make sure that my screws don't bottom out in the hole. One thing I'm going to do is just put a little bit of wax on the thread screws. All right, there we have it. The neck's bolted on. It's nice and secure. So what we want to do right now is I'm just going to lay my straight edge back down here and just double check my reference lines that I had when I drew my center lines. Those are spot on that side and spot on that side. So what that's telling me is that I've got the neck in perfectly straight. All right, that's going to wrap up today's video. As always, if you like what I'm doing, please click like, click subscribe so you can follow along with the build. Today we completed one of the most crucial steps in the build, and that's getting the neck mounted into the body. So I'm really glad that we got that. It came off without a hitch, just like I knew it would. And I'm looking forward to the next video when we actually get the bridge mounted onto the body as well. So until next time, thank you for stopping by the channel, and take care.